Hello, friends. Welcome to Akulmach Live, and I'm Chandrakant. Today, in the section of likable leaders, we will be joined by a very senior, very eminent personality. His name is Dr. Sindhu Bhaskar. He's done tremendous work in the area of fintech, and it'll be very interesting to hear from him about his new projects. And friends, I must tell you that this is a live session from whichever part of the world you're watching us, from whichever social media. You can post your questions and your name and questions will appear on the screen. We can take those questions and respond to you. So without further ado, let's welcome Dr. Sindhu Bhaskar. Good morning, Dr. Sindhu Bhaskar. How are you doing today?
I'm very well. Thank you very much for welcoming me and inviting me to your show. So thankful to you.
It is our pleasure, Doctor. And I think there are many things that we want to ask you, and we have limited time. So I'll straight away want to know more from you about the journey that you had, such a successful journey, and it has been a very versatile as well. So we would like to know from you how this leadership journey started for you, and what compelled you to get into this, and how you became a leader. I think that is something which our viewer would like to know from you.
Well, as you know, leaders, there are different types of leaders also. That some are born leaders. So I will not say that I am a born leader. I will say I made myself a leader. So I fully equipped myself first to lead from the front. And when I say I equip myself, I want to say that I put in my effort, put in my labor to know the subject, to know the field and area of operation so that I can be successful with my team and I can show them the correct path and the correct way to go about and achieve the result and the goal. So I think that is how I try to make myself a leader. And of course, any journey has its own various stops, various experiences, and various travails. So all those things were part of my journey as well. Nothing unusual about it, but very fascinating. I will say very fascinating.
Doctor, you have been part of the industry for almost many years, I think 3 decades, and you might have seen a lot of transformation across the board. Multiple types of different transformation. What is your observation and learning from these transformation?
See, of course, my working is 3 decades old. Hope I don't look like 4, 5 decades old. So, yes, my work curve is quite long, and I have been a banker throughout. So when I started, it was the manual banking. Then we came got the computerized banking, and then we entered the era of fintech. So all these different, say, advancements kept on happening in financial sector, and I am not only a witness to it. I'm also, I will call myself an efficient worker in trying to get the feel of it and trying to stand with all the onslaughts of fintech and all the different millennial revolution that is facing the global canvas. So what happened that I had to prepare myself for all these turnarounds. So from a manual banker, I became a digital banker, computerized. So I started working with computers, trying to even train others. So I again took the lead in creating a knowledge bank for myself so that I can be of help to my organization, to my people who are working with me, and I can be a very constructive team leader. Then when banks started failing and there was as we later on we call millennial revolt against the tyranny of legacy banks, that was another area which was again very new for me. So I had to upgrade myself, equip myself with all the knowledge base of this fintech revolution and the millennial, I should say, turnaround. And for that, I did courses from Oxford, I did courses from MIT, and fully equipped myself so that I can again lead from the front and I can be of help to my team members as well as I can do justice to my platform. Otherwise, half knowledge would have destroyed my platform. So it is always better to acquire knowledge, fully equip yourself, and then give a shape and aura to your platform. So that is how I have tried to move.
Doctor, we have observation from a viewer actually, and it's just an observation. And this is joined us from YouTube, and the viewer name is Storyteller. And the viewer says that it's a remarkable journey you had from manual banking to the digital banking, I think. So I think that is what they are quite impressed with you. So going forward, Doctor, all these changes, in fact, the banking industry was very rapidly transformed from manual banking to branch banking to ATM, and now we are into digital space. How your leadership evolved? Is there anything specific that you would like to share, about because of these changing scenarios? And in the banking industry, there were a lot of unions and all that. So I think there were a lot of trouble in terms of, especially in India. You had some challenge over there, which you can share today?
I will slightly take some time to give you a full answer because, of course, the viewer has tried to give his own remark about my journey. So I would like to dwell upon that theme also. See, when we started with this fintech revolution, rather let us call it the evolution of the banking technology and financial technology. What happened that, as I said, I acquired knowledge and then I have tried to create my own digital banking platform. Now, what is the basis of that platform? I had to weed out all the ills of the banking system, which was destroying it and which has destroyed it. So the basic problem of legacy banking was timing, lot of timing to process any transaction, the bonus system, the elitist culture, all those things were there. So I have tried to develop a digital banking which is purely for development and for financial inclusion. So, but again, if you have to succeed with anything, you do not just start with a platform. You first create a vision of your journey, how you will move, what is your basic goal, what is your basic destination. Then only you can, like Mahatma Gandhi said, ways and means. So you have to find out your means on the basis of your vision, where you want to reach. So when that goal is concretized, then you can create the ways and means to reach that goal. And if it is a positive set of ways and means, you will have a positive result. So I had a positive goal of financial inclusion development, because what we saw in developing countries, the filtration theory, the trickle down theory, reform from top, all those things, they have failed. So what I focused on was reform from below. That means now enough of the filtration theory, trickle down theory. Let us try to move and work with the lowest tier of the society and push them towards the middle class. And when the middle class economy will extend, the country will expand economically, and that will be beneficial for the development of the country. So that was the agenda. So I created a vision, a mission, and I'm working on it. So my I should say, journey led me to creation of a digital bank, which should be the flagship for development. And then I have created a super agri app, which is taking care of agriculture in a way that it is the instrument for rural economic development. Now, I think another couple of minutes, seconds I will take for that. Rural economic development here does not mean just the financial development. It means overall development. So, what I vision that there should be clusters of development in a country, and when those different clusters of development will interact and integrate with each other, that will create the real development. So when we talk of capitalist theory of development, say participative capitalism, I always talk of those clustered capitalism. So clusters of capitalism will create inclusive capitalism. It will not be exploitative feature of economy. So that is the goal which I set. I'm moving on that, and now I'm going to introduce and unveil all my platform. Probably I'm trying to keep the date of 2nd October for India and last week of October in Africa. So I'm working in mostly all these dense countries. Dense means which has high population density, so that we can achieve some real positive results.
Viewers, I have to tell you that Dr. Sindhu Bhaskar is joining us from US, and he has many organizations which he has led and he is leading currently. And one of the very interesting offerings will be launched very soon. So we don't want to spill the beans, but he is actually, as he already hinted, so we will actually keep holding this story and circle back in future after the launch. So doctor, there is a question again, and just we will take very few questions actually because we are short on time, but this one is quite interesting, and this is about your opinion on future with regard to Bitcoin.
Thank you very much for this question, because wherever I go, in whichever conference I am, wherever I'm speaking, I do get this question. See, Bitcoin, I have full respect and honor for Bitcoin in the sense that it has given us a technology, which is your blockchain technology and cryptography, which is very, very important for advancement of your fintech. And it is giving a new life, new dimension, and new proposition to all your fintech products. Like we have decentralized medium, decentralized finance. So earlier we were talking of CFI, centralized finance. Now we are talking of DeFi, decentralized finance. So all this is gift of Bitcoin. Now, up to that point, hats off and salute to Bitcoin. But when people start talking of Bitcoin as the legal tender of a country, there I will beg to differ. Like El Salvador, they have adopted Bitcoin as the medium of exchange, as a legal tender in the country. Now that cannot be done, because you cannot have a legal tender which is so volatile, which does not have the basis and to compete with a fiat of a country. Now, fiat has the people say, okay, what is fiat? We are accepting it. That is why it has value. No, the country's asset, the country's might is behind your fiat. That fiat can become or take a digital form. That is perfect. Like digital rupee, digital yuan, digital dollar, what we are talking of. Those things are fine. But Bitcoin, technology wise, no problem, but it cannot become legal tender. It can be a very good asset, and we can play with it as an asset. I think I will stop at that point.
Doctor, would you like to share some of one or two or three, whichever successes that you had which you're proud of in your career.
See, first of all, uh, I'm proud that my team can relate to me and they cooperate with me and they are with all their might behind me. So I am always thankful to my team for that. And that is my biggest success, that I can correlate with them and I can give them the same vision that I am having. I can pass it on to them and they can see that yes, this person is genuine, he has some vision and he means good, so they want to move with me. The second will be, wherever I have gone, wherever I have tried to give any speech or my views, people have received it in a very, very positive manner. And I have always got this compliment that I am very positive in my outlook, very positive in my looks. So I don't know what about the positive looks and negative looks, but they think that I exude positivism. So I think that is my biggest asset, that I am never negative even in difficulties and problems. I try to be positive and try to solve the issues rather than sitting in a corner with a sullen face. And the third is that my vision was very, very, I should say, accurate. And my diagnosis of the problem of any country and the country's economy was to the point, hitting the bullseye, I should say. Just to give you an example, one of the facets of my platform is uh, how I can create linkages of the Indian MSMEs to overseas MSMEs, or rural artisans, rural industries, how I can connect them to overseas industry so that they can also earn forex. Now, this is my typical subject and lecture, because when I talk of cluster capitalism, cluster growth, these are the things how you are going to convert the rural economy into a corporate economy by commodification of agriculture, by corporatization of rural economy. In those things, the rural industry has a very important role. There I talk of rural exchange, like stock exchange. So that is so that rural economy is not dependent on urban economy. Now, when I am talking of all those things, what is also happening, that I'm creating a disconnect between urban economy and rural economy, in the sense that nothing should flow from urban economy to rural economy to influence it. Let both interact and integrate with each other on same ground as equal partners. And then the example which I was trying to give you was, I have been advocating for this issue of connecting rural industries, MSMEs, to overseas MSMEs so that they can earn forex. I had given a lecture on this also, and tried to educate the participants of MSME Business Forum India, where I'm in the board also, that this is how I'm trying to create the connect for you. Try to work and you can start earning forex, and that will be very good for the country. Now, just 10 days back, government has come out with the scheme Ubharte Sitare. That is exactly the same thing. And if you see go through my lectures, which are recorded some 2 years back, 3 years back, you will see the same things I've been talking of. So that is, I will say that the third and my biggest success story is that I have been able to get the pulse of my country, or the development pulse of any country, and I'm able to come out with a solution which is futuristic, positive, and definitely implementable. So that is the biggest validation of my thought process and my platform.
I think the launch of Uberte Sitare itself is a very big vindication of your thought process. But here I would like to ask you one very, very important question. It's simple, but it's important, which is what is the essential factor for success? And I think this question is very relevant because of a lot of budding CEOs are there and they want to make it big. India has to shine. We have to go out and win business from overseas and also from India. So what is the big mantra for success today from your point of view?
See, I will again start with the most beaten theme of uh, perseverance, your clarity in your outlook, honest to your efforts. That has to be there. But I think the biggest factor for any CEO for their success is positivism and innate faith in their thought process. And that can come only with your clarity of mind and clarity of thoughts. So I think that trust in yourself and trust in your thoughts to create some development for your country and for your society, not as your work, but as a responsibility as a member of the society to give back to society. When you have that concept, that adds the biggest positivism to your thought process, and that will lead you to success without fail, because you have no selfish interest there. You are grateful to your society, grateful to people, that you are trying to pay them back what society has given to you. So when that sense of gratefulness and gratitude comes to you, you are bound to succeed.
I think it's a fantastic advice, Dr. Bhaskar. I think your conversation is very popular. There are many questions coming up. I think we will just take one of them. And this is about from Kanchan Verma, and she is joined in from LinkedIn. And her question is for banker, how leadership act as a tool of progress.
How leadership tools act. Can you repeat the question once again, please?
How leadership act as a tool of progress for a banker.
Yeah, first of all, as a banker, I will say you have to be a banker for the country, for all the strata of society, not only for elite. So that should be the biggest mantra for any banker. I've been a banker and I am trying to be a digital banker also, but the focus is how you can take the entire different layers of society together with yourself. Then only your banking can succeed. And because more and more opportunities are there for the capital rotation, then you can create capital. But if you are going to block your capital with one section of the society, let us call it the elitist section of the society, which is the biggest benefactor of any credit facility from banks, how are you going to create the development? You can never create it. So you have to be fair to all the tiers of the society, and you have to always remember bank capital must be rotated. Then only you can create additional capital. And when you are working with different tiers of the society, that additional capital is going to create development for the society. And that is the biggest motive and mantra for any bank. It is not to help an elite group or any top industrialist and be in league with them. So that is the secret of success for a bank. And you will see, if you work like that, if you are a banker, if you move with this spirit, you are bound to succeed. Of course, there will be so many problems, so many unions are there, so many things are there. They will try to say all sorts of things. But be resolute, be like sticking to your ground and to your positivism and your honesty. Problems will come. You will have to face problems, but again, you will come out victorious. Nothing will browbeat you.
I think bankers who are watching this program, I think there are a lot of learning from what you've just told them. I think I have come to the last question that I want to I definitely want to ask you is about the investor community. And what do you, from your point of view, what do you think that the role investor community has to play now in this decade, which is 2020 to 2030 for growth? What is your opinion?
See, fintech atmosphere and fintech revolution has changed all the dynamics of economy and finance. Earlier, the profit motive was the center, and your net profit was the key word for your balance sheet and financial statements. But now we don't talk of all those things. We talk of what is your subscriber base, how many members do you have, how many users do you have. So the whole focus has changed. So what is happening here, that the economy has taken a very different tone and tune of ecosystem. More and more people are there, more and more organizations, institutions are working together, interacting with each other. That gives you the success, not your profitability. So enterprise or corporates or entities who have to run today and gain profit, they have to work as part of ecosystem, and they have to create their own ecosystem. So again, you get the same concept of clusters of economy. So these big industrial houses should be clusters of creators of capitalism, and they should try to integrate with different sections of society. That is how you will create subscriber base, and that is how you will earn profitability, which again means that inclusive model, not exclusive model. The inclusive model of development and the circular model of development and capitalism, so that you invest capital to create more capital. So aggregation of capital, utilization of capital, and recreation of capital. That should be the motive of any industry in this fintech situation.
Dr. Bhaskar, I think it was my personal pleasure to learn so many things today. I'm sure viewers must have also got a lot of insight from this conversation, although it is not sufficient. You know, the 20-30 minutes that we had conversation is not sufficient. So I think we will bother you again in future and bring you on board, ask you so many things, because there are still lot many things that we can learn from you. And viewers, thank you so much for your very active participation. Your participation makes this program such lively and fruitful for all of us. So doctor, it was pleasure talking to you, and we will catch up in the next show. I like to say goodbye until then.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, viewers, and thank you, Akul, so that we had such a fantastic session today. And all my thanks and gratitude. Bye for now.